Okay, I've been having a couple problems with my 9053 Volitation. It took a hard impact, something like that, landed on the top of the blades from about 60 to 70 feet, enough to bend the rear rotor up. So I'm going to show you how to take out the outer rotor shaft and straighten it. Get the shaft out. You first got to take off the top rotor, which has a little screw right in there, and you take that screw, loosen that screw, don't take it completely out, then you lift the top rotors out and the lower gear removed. You take and pull your middle shaft out. Make sure it's not bent. If it is, later in the video I'll show you how to straighten it. Right now you remove this bearing here. Should just pop off like so. Put that aside. Then you have that screw there and that screw there to remove. With those screws loosened or removed, you pull this off the shaft. Next, what you want to do is remove the gear from the shaft. To do that, you have one screw there and another one on the other side. Remove both from the gear, and the gear should just slide off the shaft, and the shaft should slide straight out. With the shaft out of the helicopter, you remove this little bushing by taking them two screws out, and I will see you out in the garage. Okay, the shaft is bent at this hole, and to fix that bend, I'm going to put it in a vise. You can put it bolted to a counter or something. And what you'll need for this is a screwdriver that fits in the end of the shaft and a blowtorch. These can be bought at Home Depot for like $10, $20, depending on the kind of blowtorch you buy. It's a propane gas, and first of all, I'm going to put this in the vise. Now it's in the vise, but not real bad. I'm going to find a place to put this camera so it can catch me actually doing the job. Okay, here's the shaft. Now, start up the blowtorch. Now, a little bit of blowtorch theory is right here, where you got the end of your flame, is the hottest part of the flame. So try and keep that at your shaft and wait till it gets hot. See how it glows red? Doesn't take too long to heat it up. And just bend it back. As simple as that. That's all it takes to bend it back straight. Now I'm going to wait for that to cool off. For you, it'd take a couple seconds. Now this should be cold to the touch, and it is. So I'm going to take that and put it back on the helicopter. To put the shaft back in, you do reverse order of what you put it on, took it off with. First, the bushing. The bushing gets lined up with the middle hole, and it's going to take some doing to get it in there, but try your best to get it lined up. And remember, you have a cone side and a flat side. Flat side goes up, cone side coincides with this bearing that's in there, and it just sits right on top, and that keeps pressure against it. Now with the bushing on and the screws tightened down, you put your shaft in the bearing, and it's kind of difficult to go in, but it's in. And you put your gear on the same way. Now with the gear on, you're going to want to put your lower rotor assembly back on, whether it was upside down or right side up, whether or not you did a mount reversal to lower the blades. Now if you're having trouble finding these holes and lining them up with the screws, just remember that all the holes are on the same line. So if you have to line up this screw with the screw that goes in there, and you'll get it every time. Now with the blade assembly on, you're going to reinstall your top bearing. It just pops on, and lower your inner shaft through the hole and down. As with the the top gear, the bottom gear, there's a trick too. If you notice, there's two flat spots on that gear. The bottom one sticks out at the bottom of the gear, so you line that up with your screw so it's easier to get on. And once everything's assembled, you're ready to go.